What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor states that Teofimo Lopez beat a small, injured Loma. I'd take him to bits. The WBO junior welterweight Josh Taylor has fired shots at his rival Teofimo Lopez. Taylor, who at one time had every world title at 140 and is getting ready to make a rematch defense against Jack Catterall in early 2023. When Lopez was the unified champion at lightweight, there were plenty of words exchanged with Taylor. Lopez had since moved up to 140, but last week's performance was less than stellar. The once beaten puncher was dropped in the second round and had all sorts of issues in winning a split decision over Sandor Martin. Lopez shot to fame in 2020 when he picked up the 12-round decision over Vasyl Lomachenko and captured the unified crown at 135, but Lopez lost his belts the following year in the mandatory offense against George Kambosos. Now that they are in the same weight class, Taylor believes that he would do a real job on Lopez. And he said this, he said, he is very good, very skilled fighter, but I believe that on my night, I'd take him to bits. He's a bit of a clown. He seems to look past his opponents all the time. It's twice he's made the same mistake and almost paid the price for it again. His comments from beforehand, he seems to have the same reoccurring problem. He thinks he's God's gift, and then he comes crashing back down to earth with a bang. I was confident of beating him anyway. Let's not forget, he did very well to beat Lomachenko, but he beat a small, injured lightweight that really could make featherweight. You've got to give credit where credit's due, but he's not in there with blown up featherweights anymore. Those are the words of Josh Taylor. And let me counterpunch. First off, I think that Josh Taylor has a point with Teofimo really feeding into his ego and looking past his opponents. He did that with George Kambosos. He did that with Sandor Martin. He thought of each fight as not the fight in particular. He thought of the fight after that fight. Okay, so in other words, when he was thinking about George Kambosos, he was thinking about Josh Taylor. When he should have been thinking about Sandor Martin, he was thinking about other fighters. Okay, he was always not prepared, I don't feel, for the opponent at hand, and I think he underestimates his opponents, for that reason. But him thinking he's God's gift to boxing, I do think that Teofimo has this type of complex and ego. Of course, that's why we just heard him reply back to him refuting that he doesn't, or he questioned himself, did he still have it, which that's what he asked his boy or his team, not anything else. We didn't get that out of thin air, or whoever recorded that, didn't make that up. That was not Photoshop. That was not created in a lab or anything. That was him asking his crew, hey, do I still have it? Now, speaking of Vasyl Lomachenko, though, Vasyl Lomachenko, we did see him have surgery after that fight, okay? And he is a smaller guy. In fact, the Linares fight woke Loma up and let Loma understand that, hey, I can't go any farther up. I'm not a Mayweather. I'm not a Manny Pacquiao. I'm not a Terrence Crawford. I am Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm much smaller than these guys, and I can't compete at these guys' level. And Linares showed him that when he sit him down on the seat of his derriere in their match together. Okay, he felt the power. Okay, so fighting somebody like Teofimo Lopez was actually an accomplishment for him because he was a smaller guy. However, he might have been injured. I don't see anyone faking an injury if he wasn't, not to that magnitude. This is not a Manny Pacquiao Mayweather. This is not a situation like that. You've seen the scars, you've seen the surgical implants, and the work done on his shoulder after that particular fight with Teofimo Lopez. And a lot of people thought that could have been a draw. So, the fact that Teo didn't give him the rematch just showed that he thought that he was on a level that he was not on. Okay. And Kambosos really humbled him for doing that. Josh Taylor fighting Teo, though, I think it's one and all in the same. Why do I say that? Because Josh Taylor was in a fight that a lot of people thought he lost, including me. In the same type of situation, he got dropped. He got outclassed. He was outpunched, outgunned. And at the end of the day, because it was some home cooking, because he was at home, they gave it to him, just like Teofimo Lopez. So him saying that he'll take Lopez to bits and Lopez is not where he needs to be, well, the question you ask yourself, Josh Taylor, are you where you need to be to take on Catterall? I think before you start talking about taking Teo to bits, I think you need to practice what you preach. You shouldn't be talking about Teofimo Lopez until you get the job really done with Jack Catterall. After all, that's the reason for the rematch. That's the reason for the revancha. That's the reason for this whole thing, because a lot of people did think you won. So you got to do it again. So I think both of these guys, Taylor and Lopez, sure, I would love to see them fight one day, but only if Josh Taylor can convincingly beat Jack Catterall. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Josh Taylor saying that Teofimo Lopez is a clown and he thinks he's God gift of boxing and he would take him to bits. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.